When President Obama met with Mexican President Felipe Calderón at the White House on Thursday, they discussed the flow of drugs and guns across the border. 3 weeks ago, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent Jaime Zapata was shot to death in Mexico with a gun smuggled from the states. Calderón complains Washington has not done enough to keep those weapons out of his country. But Mr. Obama says progress on the issue of arms smuggling has been made.
We have seen a significant increase in the number of weapons that have been confiscated. We have put more and more people behind bars for the transfer of weapons across the border into Mexico.
But now, one of the men on the front lines of that effort says the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms intentionally allowed guns to be smuggled across the border into Mexico. CBS News investigative correspondent Sharyl Attkisson joins us this morning from Washington. Sharyl, that sounds just beyond contradictory.
It really is. You have to wonder when President Obama speaks about more weapons confiscated, is it because ATF let more weapons on the street in the first place? ATF Special Agent John Dodson risked his job to talk to us publicly about the controversial tactic he says ATF has been using of letting thousands of weapons walk into the hands of drug cartels in Mexico. Letting guns walk means ATF allegedly watched, even encouraged the sale of assault rifles and other weapons to criminal suspects and let them onto the streets. The idea was to see where they'd end up and get intelligence and try to take down a whole cartel. Dodson and others objected, saying you never let guns walk because they may be used to hurt and kill people along the way. ATF and the Justice Department have denied that this ever happened when we spoke to them. Now let's hear a little bit of Dodson's interview.
I'm boots on the ground here in Phoenix and telling you we've been doing it every day since I've been here. Here I am. Tell me that it didn't happen. Tell me I didn't do the things that you told me to do. Tell me I didn't see the things that I saw, all right? And tell me we weren't doing it.
Did you feel that ATF was partly perhaps to blame for the escalating violence in Mexico and on the border?
Yes, ma'am. I even asked them if they could see the correlation between the two. The more that our guys buy, the more violence that we're having down there. Do you think it's a contributing factor?
What was the answer? What did they say?
If you're going to make an omelet, you got to scramble some eggs.
Then on December 14, 2010, Border Patrol agent Brian Terry was gunned down in Arizona, and two of those weapons that ATF had allegedly let walk a year before without stopping them showed up at that murder scene. Agent Dodson says that began what he considers a cover-up of the circumstances and ATF's role in watching the weapon sales. Now Senator Grassley is investigating, and as we mentioned, the Department of Justice and ATF won't agree to interviews with us, but they've told Senator Grassley none of it ever happened.
They say it never happened. From what you just accounted for, so some of those guns are still out there. Did this ever actually work in helping to take down a cartel?
Well, the end game they were hoping was, as we mentioned, taking down a whole cartel. No, the agents told us that never happened. In the end, they simply got some of the gun runners that they could have arrested along the way, we're told.
Eye-opening. Sharyl Attkisson in Washington, thanks.